Okay, this is the trapezoid rule by hand. Here is our function, negative 100x squared plus 90x plus 14. Our left endpoint is 0.1, and our right endpoint is 1. So we're going from 0.1 to 1, and we need 9 trapezoids. So let's do our b minus a, and that should be over n. All right, so we have our right endpoint 1 minus our left endpoint 0.1, and we are dividing it into 9 increments, intervals. So that gives me 0.9 divided by 9, so that gives me increments of 0.1. So I start at 0.1 and I add on increments of 0.1. 0.1 plus 0.1 is 0.2. And then 0.3, we just keep adding on increments of 0.1. 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and lo and behold, it gets us exactly to our right endpoint. So there are my 9 trapezoids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, the X values we can put right in our table. It really helps to organize your information in an XY table. So let me put in my X-axis increments. All right, now this delta X, this change in X right here, 0.1, that is my base of each trapezoid. Each trapezoid up here is 0.1 units. All right, now to get these Y values, you simply plug your X values into the function. All right, so our function is right up here. I would put that in your calculator and use your table. Go ahead and do that right now. Pause the video. Okay, go ahead and check to make sure that your values are correct, and then we will keep going. All right, to set up the trapezoid rule by hand, here are the steps right here. The delta X, this is put out in front. All right, so we put 0.1 out in front. Again, that is the base of every trapezoid. Delta X, the change in X goes out front. All right, there it is. All right, the next thing we do is we set up the bases. Now, remember, I'm going to highlight in red. This base on the end and this base on the end, they are only used once. So in the formula for the trapezoid, the formula for the area of a trapezoid, it's half the bases. So we have to take half of this base right here and half of this base here. So we have to take half of those. So times 0.5 times 0.5. Now, I'm going to highlight them in blue. These heights in the middle, those are each used twice. So we only list them once in our trapezoid by rule formula. If we only list them once, we have cut them in half. So it looks like this. We take half of that first height, so 0.5 times 22. Now we add these all up in the middle. All right, so it's going to look like this. Plus 28, plus 32, plus 34, plus 34, plus 32, plus 28, plus 22, plus 14. Those are my heights in the middle. Add it up. I list them once. That's cutting them in half because they're each used twice. And then at the very end, I have half of this last one. So plus 0.5 times 4, my last Y value. Make sure that you distribute all of that with the base of 0.1. So it's the base of each trapezoid, the change in X, 0.5 times the first Y value, plus the Y values in the middle, plus 0.5 of the last Y value. That is the trapezoid rule by hand. And when I compute that, use your calculator of course, you should get 23.7. And that is an area, so we'll just say units squared. But that is the trapezoid rule by hand, using trapezoids to find the area under the curve for a definite integral. Thanks, calculus!